Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 72 of CrossButtonVR, our journey into the world of PSVR2. I'm your host, Laurie, and I'm very pleased to be back, and it is an honour to be joined by one of the sharpest influencers in the metaverse. It's Reese. Hi, Reese.
Hello there. First of all, glad to have you back, Laurie.
Oh, I'm glad to be back.
That intro, boom.
Oh, yeah, you feel back on your feet. Well, yeah. I mean, you guys, you and Alex have been doing fine work whilst I've been away. Yeah. I've been listening every week, so I've definitely been enjoying it. It's been nice just to listen to the pod as an audience member. It's been good, but I've been very busy. I had my big birthday, had a big birthday weekend. Lots of people came to stay with us, so that was ruled out that week. And then before that, I was out electioneering, helping.
There's not mentioned the election. Nobody needs to hear about that, Laurie.
Yeah, well, just
Nobody wants to, do they?
Oh, sorry, I was Team Red. Don't worry. So it's been a busy old time. So thank you for holding the fort whilst I have been away. What have I missed? There's been a few things I've been hearing. Like just when I listen to you guys, I'm like, oh, I wish I was there because I want to jump in. I want to contribute to that. I've been thinking about the things that I just wanted to pick up on that I wasn't able to talk about whilst I have been off. And Arcade Paradise. First of all, I'm very happy to be able to play that. That was in the Upload VR
showcase. Yeah, that was one.
I think we knew it was coming, didn't we? But it was great to see that, and it's coming.
I remember that comment from Wired, and it was like, nothing to say here. They kind of like put the eyes next to it after we mentioned it that one time. So it was good to finally see a full announcement for that. I think everyone's excited for that. Yeah,
and it's sad that it's another reason that was like getting me tempted to buy Quest. It's now dropped away, sadly, for Quest.
Still, you want Batman though, so
Well, it seems like it's going to be Batman and Assassin's Creed that are going to be the main draws there.
Still to this day, I really hope they do port Assassin's Creed over. If you don't get Batman over there, I hope Assassin's Creed comes over at some point. Just because I feel like that game is one of them games I want with that higher fidelity. So,
yeah, for sure. Mare as well. That's coming out in a few months' time. That's the eco style puzzle adventure type thing. That looks great. That looks the very me game. I was a big fan. I haven't played Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, but I have played and very much enjoyed The Last Guardian. So I'm that's obviously completely different to Eco, which is what Mare looks more like. But yeah, the whole whimsical kind of storybook style atmosphere of it all is just it just looks really nice. And in VR, it seems like quite cool as well. Not sure about eye tracking only control mode.
I'm interested in it because you see a lot of these ports come over and a lot of them implement, some of the haptics and things like that, but a lot of them kind of disregard eye tracking sometimes. So I'm excited to see a game actually do eye tracking. So I'd give it a go.
Yeah. I like sort of subtle eye tracking. I just looking around at menus or targeting things by looking at them. But when like the entire game, because I remember Before Your Eyes, that was all eye tracking. And I just made me want to squint the whole time because I feel like self-conscious that my eyes are being focused on so much. And I was like, So I think I'll stick to the controls. And finally, Xbox game to get the VR treatment. How did no one say Viva Pinata as well? Come on, VR Pinata.
What a classic! Joe, what I remember the
VR
first
Pinata.
one. I used to play the second one. The party one.
That on was DS. Was that? Or?
No, it was I can't remember what it's called, but it was two. There was quite a few of them on Xbox. But I remember the second one. It being more like a party style game.
I've never played any of them, but just
the first one was good.
I'm familiar with the game.
It's been quiet. It's been quiet. They need to do another Viva Pinata. I'm surprised they haven't. That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, that was just working VR as well.
My mind just went straight to the shite.
Well, of course it did. So, that's what we pay for. Yeah, you are. Well, he brought you in as our shooter correspondent.
Shite correspondent, as we call it now.
Yeah, and no, couldn't imagine doing it without you now, Reece. So it's fine.
Thank you.
So anyway, we'll just get on with the show. We've got loads of news this week to talk about. There's been loads of stuff. It's like they were waiting for me. It was like, oh, hold on. Laurie's going away for a few weeks.
We'll be quiet next week. We'll get Laurie back and then we'll do the news.
We'll hold this back till Laurie's back because we want him to talk about it. That's definitely how the industry works. So before we get to the news, though, we've got an important bit of news of our own, haven't we?
Yes.
To let everyone know that we are very shortly going to be moving over to our own brand shiny new YouTube channel. So we're having a bit of a restructure how we do things with cross players and just trying to sort of put everything. It's going to be an annoyingly painful process, but once we do it, everything will be in its own, be able to focus on its own content and niche, and just we can really focus and double down on that and just go after just growing our channels in a way that's going to make more sense as they all get bigger. So it's going to be really good, I think, over the long term, over the medium term. But it just means that everyone listening to this, please can you subscribe to the new YouTube channel. We're still going to be posting where we are for a couple more weeks, but eventually we're going to switch over, and you can find it at youtube.com/@CrossButtonVR. So nice and easy to remember. You can just go into YouTube and just put in the search box at CrossButtonVR. You'll find our new channel, and very soon we're going to start posting the episodes there all the time. I think if you're a listener on the podcast and stuff, then that's all not going to change. So it's just the YouTube.
Spotify will all stay the same. Twitter will stay the same. Just the YouTube.
Twitter. So please do be sure to resubscribe there, because we wouldn't want you to miss out once we stop posting in the current location. We will keep posting a few reminder videos every week just to tell everyone that they need to go to the new place to find it. But yeah, we want to commit to this new one now and just really build that as a VR focused channel, because we think that will help it to grow, and it will make sense. And yeah, whilst you are there as well, we have a new Discord as well. So yeah, if everyone wants to jump into that, we've been getting loads of people joining to that as well for the same reasons. Just want to really focus on having a really great place just for people to focus on the VR, the world of VR, which ultimately is what we're all about. So again, there's going to be links in this episode for the YouTube and the Discord. So please take a second to join those both. Okay, thank you. Right, the news then. And it's been good this week because we had a big Sony PlayStation blog announcement. It was like a blog post that announced lots of other blog posts that all came at the same time. So it was great. It was like a whole news blowout. It was a blowout.
Domino effect of blog posts, basically.
Yeah, and it was almost like, as close as you're going to get to a VR state of play, I think.
And then it was just everything after that, the day after that, and then other things just piping up as well. There was it sparked something. So
yeah, I don't know why Sony just refused to do a VR state of play. They could just put out, say, we're going to do a state of play just for PSVR2, because they had a real big new reveal with Frenzies, new Metro details, a really good in-depth look at Wanderer. But this week we've had quite a few other bits of news and things that they could have spun into a broadcast. And I just think that would just go so far to just getting rid of this sense that Sony don't really care about it. They're not marketing it. They're not talking about it. And yeah, it could even, if it was just 10-15 minutes long, no one expects like a whole 40-minute showcase or anything, although we'll come to VR showcases shortly. But anyway, focusing on what was revealed in the blog post, Frenzies, and this looked like a very Reese sort of game.
Yeah. I just went straight into the WhatsApp group, didn't I? I was just like, guys, Frenzies looks great.
End Dreams are back. They're back. Yeah.
It was literally pure excitement when I saw that.
The first two games, is it Frax and Synapse? They're single player, aren't they? And this is now a multiplayer game. So it looks very like an End Dreams shooter, which is a very good thing. This is
made by, I can't remember the name of the studio, and I feel really bad for that, but it's made by the people that made Shooty Fruity, which is one of the, I wouldn't say the first VR games that I bought, but it was one of the first VR games that I looked at and went, this looks insane, I really want to play it, because it was like early VR stages for me. And I remember picking that up. So it's made by the people that made Shooty Fruity, and that was a phenomenal title. So yeah, they're working on this one along with, obviously, because they were acquired by End Dreams. So it's really cool to see them implement the Synapse style of cover shooter, and just also have this really out there, funny look at a shooter that doesn't take itself too seriously, which I think in VR is something we need a lot more of.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have that kind of military ethos. It's more like more like sort of Squid Games kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of looked Squid Games in onesies, and it was
but
it's just really lighthearted.
Really, really bright and colourful. It's all about showing off as well, which seemed like a great kind of really fun thing. As in, they've said they designed it to be really sort of quick, fast-paced, quick matches. So if you die, you can just jump straight back in it again. I think they can have team-based things as well, so that's great. So we can play it, and me and Alex can just hide behind you, and you can just go around shooting people for us, and we'll just sort of like trying not to die.
I'm sure you'll both get along with it just fine. You both did really well with Synapse, so yeah.
It's just the whole multiplayer element. People get far more talented at these sorts of stuff than I do.
Learning that a lot about you and Alex. It's like, you don't mind shooters, but as soon as it comes to competitive shooters, that's when you kind of go, actually, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just
too old, Reese. I'm too old. I'm not like you, and you're 17 now, or 18, is it? I don't have the reactions.
I'm not that young.
No,
Oh,
you're significantly younger than me though, so I don't have the reactions that I used to. So that's Frenzies. No date for that, but it
no.
is this year, I think.
And I did just look up the studio that are working on it. It's called Near Light, so they're the ones that made Shoot You Through, and they're the ones working on this.
That's
But
an N Dream studio,
yeah,
isn't it? Like, how
they
many studios do
acquired.
N Dreams have?
I don't know. They
That's
picked up
great.
a few, but this is one that I'm really excited for because, again, if you look at Shoot You Through, you can just go, "What the hell? This is so random," and it kind of has that same look to it. So yeah, really excited, really, really excited.
Yeah, and I don't actually think, I'm just trying to skim read the blog post now. I don't think it mentioned a launch window when it's going to be. So
No, there's nothing at this time, as far as I'm aware. Nothing that's been publicly announced.
I love the line they said that it's taking inspiration from classics such as Quake and Unreal Tournament. And Unreal Tournament, that I did like that back. That was a long time ago. That was when I could play on online competitive games. I was a big Unreal Tournament fan back in the day, or playing it more just as like local multiplayer against mates and stuff. That's more fun.
It's also worth stating as well with this one, it is cross-play with Quest. So straight away from the gate, you're going to have a big player base on it. You're not going to have lobby times waiting.
As long as I can turn off squeakers.
Yeah, I'm sure there's in-game muting, but it's cross-play. So I was really excited to see that because obviously, it's like we've said before, exclusives in VR, I think, need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah,
I understand
especially multiplayer.
Systems. Yeah, it's multiplayer 100%. You shouldn't have exclusive multiplayer.
Firewall, what was going on there? Yeah.
That's right there is a clear indication why you do not have exclusive multiplayer in VR.
But yeah, it looks really good and there's some real pedigree there, and I feel like Sony have got a good, they're building a kind of reputation for these multiplayer games. It looks a bit similar to sort of Concord almost, which is having its online betas this weekend. So yeah, it looks good. It's not really my sort of game, so I don't think it's going to be one that I'm going to love. But I'm going to be cautious. Yeah, I will definitely play it and I'll embrace it and I'll give it I'll give it a proper go and a fair shot because I'm always happy to be surprised and by things in VR.
It was definitely me that jumped out of my seat for that announcement.
Oh yeah,
we'll put it that way. It was definitely me just kind of threw at everything. I was like, yes. So
it's fine because this blog post state of play that it was that one was like, well, it looks cool, not really my sort of thing, but the other two games were very much two of my most anticipated games. Now the other one they covered in that was Metro Awakening. Didn't have much more to add really, but they did share some really nice looking screenshots.
This is so clean.
Yeah, this is coming to Quest as well. Obviously, it's not an exclusive, but they make a point in this blog post about saying they've got the head haptics, they've got haptics on the controllers, they've got adaptive trigger and things, and the graphic fidelity here is. I know Quest 3 is obviously more powerful than Quest 2. It's not coming to Quest 2, is it? Surely. They're going to have to really dial stuff down. So this is one of those examples where it's like, yeah, it is available everywhere, but this is where it's surely going to be best on PSVR2 because you've got the power coming through the cable that really will give this. Like Quest just can't compete with that. Quest is brilliant at lots of things, but that kind of high fidelity without having to worry about draining a battery
you've got it on
in minutes.
PCVR as well. So I think that you kind of the only difference between the PCVR and is the haptics really. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a PC that can pull off that level of fidelity as well, then that'll probably be.
I'd probably still opt for the PSVR2 version because I just want to, the haptic
the trophies. That's why. Just why you're a trophy whore.
There's that, and also the haptics when you wipe your mask. I mean, can you just feel imagine the vibration when you wipe your mask or something?
Oh, wait, a mask. I thought something else there.
In Metro, you have to clean the fog off your gas mask. So I feel like every little thing like that is going to really make it. Or if they do add the Geiger counter on your watch, it might vibrate, and you might feel that in the Sense controller. Just them little type of things that make me go, "Oh, that's what I want in these haptics." That makes me feel more immersed.
Yeah, and Vertigo Games, this is going to be a good game. It's just the team there. It's not going to be a bad game. So this has got to be as AAA as we're going to get for VR now. This must be the most, and I genuinely I think it's so good that it's coming everywhere. And everyone's like, it's not exclusive for PSVR2, so it doesn't count. It's like just VR games should not be exclusive. They should just come everywhere because as many people need to play these games so that the teams making them can get as much return as possible on their investment. So and
completely agree.
I don't care. It's not exclusive. I'm happy and I'm pleased that the version on PSVR2 is going to be really optimized and really they'll make it really good for that. So that's good enough for me.
Yeah, I think the way I always look at it is the whole VR stuff is VR is the platform. You're just deciding which you want to play on. I know it's a weird way of looking at it, but yeah, it's just be happy that games are coming to VR in general. It's
and obviously you had you and I had a bit of a Quest coup whilst I was off. The moment my back was turned, you've announced we're now going to be a Quest and PCVR show. No, but I'm joking. I'm fully behind and fully agree with that. I think they're both.
I think there's so many amazing titles on everything. Really, there is.
Maybe we'll do in a few weeks' time. We'll do an episode of like the sort of pros and cons of each platform, and just for sort of a buyer's guide for if you can only buy one, which one should you buy, and the reasons, the strengths of each one, and what if you want this, go for this one. If you want that, go for that one. But yeah, I think whichever you go for, they seem like they're all fantastic options right now. So anyway, let's move on to unless you've got anything else to add on Metro.
I just want to say for anyone that didn't notice that it's a new story with a new character. It doesn't follow the story to the actual, it's in the same universe, but it doesn't follow the story of the main character from the other Metro. And when I was reading the blog from, they kind of said that when the story was wrote, they didn't actually realise how, emotional he was going to make this story, so they had to work the game around that. And I mean, I'm full on for these really strong narratives in VR. And it goes back to when we had that interview with Kane, and he basically said about how difficult it can be to have people get interested in your narrative you're trying to tell in VR. So I'm really hoping they hit it on the head, and you get that really good narrative that they're going for.
And then there was a product of how you get people to look at the story that you're trying to tell.
Exactly.
But I suppose and you can see it in the screenshots where they're in like these very dark, claustrophobic tunnels, and there's a fire where all of the survivors are huddled around and they're having a conversation. So naturally, you're going to be drawn to looking around that, and you could be stupid and just go wander and looking in some dark corner and stuff, looking for doodads. But hopefully, people will be sensible. Yeah, no, this is where I need to focus.
I'm really excited. Really excited. Yeah, for that
and the final thing I add on that is they reiterated it is still launching later this year. So no release date or release window yet, but we're still working on a this year release date, which is great news.
Yes,
that's not being pushed back into 2025.
With all the games that are looking to come out this year, we are going to have a busy year.
Yeah, well,
really busy.
I think next week's episode people can look forward to. We are going to do a sort of second half of 2024 roundup, because it's kind of quietly become pretty huge and pretty exciting. Just even as a PSVR2 owner, and as a if you've got Quest as well, then it's even more exciting. But let's hold that, because we'll talk about that next week. We may have a guest as well next week to join us in that discussion. So yeah, please be excited. Anyway, the third game that they covered on their blog was Wanderer, the Fragments of Fate. Now, sadly, this was accompanied with a delay. It's been delayed, I think, about 6 weeks, from mid-September now to October the 31st. So,
correct.
Nice Halloween game to be playing. But this was about 7 or 8 minute, and it's an in-depth trailer. It's a deep dive trailer. And I know some people on our Discord were saying, I don't want to watch it because I want to go in blind. And I did watch it because I thought, we're going to have to talk about it on the show. It really does go deep dive. So if you don't want to know this game, what happens, and the eras and the characters and the time and places that you're going to be visiting, then don't watch it, because it does go into quite a lot of detail. And I did skim parts of it, because I was like, this is really telling you a lot about the game. So just be mindful of that if you don't want it. But if you don't care about that, it's really the deep dive. It's like, oh man, this looks so good. This is a proper story-driven VR adventure that just looks like some sort of Quantum Break Doctor Who episode style. It just looks amazing. It just looks so good.
That excitement for it is just so great to hear. Like, literally, you can just hear it in your voice how excited you are for this game. Yeah, you're the one that keeps mentioning it all the time as well. Like, we've all said we're looking forward to Wanderer, but you're like, this is my most anticipated game on VR.
100%. There's no, because I mean, even like Metro Awakening, I'm looking forward to that, but that is ultimately just shooty horror. It's just two things I don't like doing in VR. So it looks like a very stressful game. So yeah, probably, definitely Wanderer, and then probably Behemoth now as a close second. But yeah, Wanderer is just like, that is exactly the sort of game I want to be playing. It just reminds me of like Cloud Atlas as well. Their whole kind of just jumping from era to era and stuff. It's just that they're just really clever concept, and yeah, can't wait for it. Looks amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It does look really good. So that's another good one. And then also they're working on a sequel already. So you know, there's a lot
it's already
going
been
for
announced,
that.
hasn't it? So
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, I hope this does well, and I hope people really buy into it and support it, because I really don't want to have a future where these sort of narrative adventure games don't have an audience in VR, because I think people need to realize that as a medium to be told a story and to be put in the driving seat of that adventure, it is unrivaled. It's like going to the theatre or something, but you're just like on stage as the main character. Everything is happening around you. It's just so immersive and powerful way to experience a story. And it would be a crime if people don't buy into that and developers stop making them. So,
agreed.
So yeah, nice big blowout there from Sony. So we could talk about that all episode, but we're going to keep going because we've got loads more to cover. So
there was a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So quick announcement. We'll cover this more obviously when it actually happens. But there's been announced the VR showcase has been announced. So this is a new big conference that's going to be covering Meta, PlayStation, and PC VR. It's is going to have quite a few big developers make an appearance. It's got Flat to VR Studios, which is very exciting to see what they're working on.
Vertigo are meant to be there as well.
Vertigo. I wonder if that'll be another proper trailer for Metro from Vertigo.
Yep.
But
Combat Waffle.
They've got quite a few studios as well. Fast travel games. So they kind of. I mean, for me, like Endreams, Vertigo, and Fast Travel Games, they are like the three biggest VR studios, like the
biggest
most
names. Yeah, definitely. I think they're the ones you kind of hear of and see. But you have got quite a lot of ones showing up there as well that have also kind of got titles out there that have really made a name for themselves. One of which we're going to mention soon because that's also on the news. Laurie doesn't know which it is though. He has no idea.
Look at the news just to see. We'll get there. But yeah, it's very exciting. I wonder if this will become like the new big event every year. That's going to be the kind of leading thing.
We can only hope. I really do love these VR focused events, and they showcase a lot of different stuff. So yeah, I really hope we get more of them.
But it's Jamie Feltham, is it? Jamie?
Yes, Jamie, who has previously at Fast Travel Games. So one of the reasons why you're probably seeing Fast Travel Games there, they're fully backing him. You know, not backing him in the sense of, but they've fully been supported by the way they've been retweeting him. Everyone has. It literally that post blew up, and rightfully so. You know,
there's a lot of excitement in it for sure.
Yeah, he did really well. I'm proud of him. You know, Jamie before. So
good for him. Good for him. I just hope it lives up to the hype, really. So that is it the 15th
I'm
of August?
Sure that's the pressure he has on him now, isn't it? Will it live up to the hype that I've now set out for myself?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So it's 15th of August at 5 p.m. UK time. So we'll be covering that, obviously, the week that airs. We'll be talking about that in great depth. So yeah, please be excited about that as well. Right, let's do some quick fire things now because we are going along here. Ghost of Tabor. Tabor or Tabor? Who knows?
Ghosts of Tabor.
Tabor has been officially confirmed. I think it already had been confirmed.
It was confirmed.
They've now, officially, and within the next couple of months, I understand.
Yeah.
There's no official date, but they've said
people are speculating it's going to come when there's the next wipe, and the next wipe is scheduled for the end of July, I believe. But obviously, if it isn't ready for then we could be waiting maybe 3 to 6 months tops for the following wipe. But who knows? Maybe they'll showcase something more, but we'll see. I'm really excited either way. But that's what everyone's speculating is it'll be around the wipe, because that's what they did when it came to the official Quest store as well. They launched it on a wipe.
Okay, and you love this game, don't you?
Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's addictive. There's a lot of risk with it, so it's kind of like what you collect, you can always lose, and you got to work hard. So it can be a lot of fun.
Well, let's not dwell on that, because I'm sure we'll probably have a Ghost of Tabor. Well, we'll probably do a whole episode dedicated to it, won't we, in the coming weeks when we know the date.
It's one of the biggest VR games, so definitely.
Yeah, and great again that there's another reason. The fewer exclusives, the better. So it's another reason why you're not just going to gatekeep and sort of lock stuff behind a Quest. So if people want to choose PlayStation for whatever reason, they can still play all the best games. So yeah, it's great for things to come across as much as possible. Speaking of which, we've got a release window confirmed for Phasmophobia. So this is another scary game, and it was going to come out last year, I believe, and then it just got delayed a bit indefinitely.
Delayed because they had a studio fire, so they literally had to halt. Yeah, they had to halt development completely of everything, even updates to Phasmophobia on the PC. But they're now back on their feet.
Oh, good. So, and they've said this is going to be. They've not given an exact date, but they've just said a Halloween update. So October, one presumes, is coming out on PlayStation. And this is the one that's you're kind of in a haunted house, working in a team, looking for. It's a bit like Ghostbusters kind of thing, isn't it?
Basically, the way it works, you go into a house, you have a demon. There'll be a set of demon in there, and you have to kind of communicate with the demon using various tools to identify what the demon is or spirit that is inside the house. And then once you've figured it out, which it is, you then mark it down in your book, and then you leave, and that's how you kind of you progress. And when you level up, you unlock more things that can be used to face off the harder demons and things like that. It's very much an investigative game that, as much as it is a horror game, so there's a lot to it, and it's really good fun with friends. And it's terrifying in VR.
You basically just described Most Haunted here.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. If you've ever watched a haunted show, it's pretty much that.
Has it got Yvette Fielding in this, or?
Pardon?
Has it got Yvette Fielding in it?
Nah.
You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Most Haunted is a TV show. Who? Okay, well, I mean that's going to be good for October. It's obviously they've timed that well, haven't they?
Certainly.
Yeah, and I think there was a time last year. I think there was loads of horror games that were coming out around then. But I think they've settled down a bit now, so maybe this will have more of the market to itself for that Halloween spooky game. So we shall see. Another thing that has been revealed is coming soon is Darksword Battle Eternity. Game has been revealed and dated for the 8th of August. So this is a kind of action RPG type thing, is it?
RPG arena style game is what I've kind of got from a lot of user reviews and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's obviously it was kind of shown up today in a sense. A lot of people have noticed it, and obviously a lot of posts going around. Some people saying, "Oh, it has mixed reviews on Steam. It has, So I just want to kind of go over this. Like, it does have mixed reviews on Steam, but if you do read the mixed reviews, it does state because of the Index headset doesn't allow them to agree to the terms and conditions to even play the game. There's an issue with it. So obviously with Steam, when they make a game, they've got to make it work with the controllers that are set on each headset. The Index controllers are actually really different to the Quest controllers in a sense. So there's more development that has to go into it. So that's the reason for a lot of the negative reviews on Steam. If you go over to Quest, it's got a 4.2 out of 5 stars and does have some favourable reviews. So, yeah, it looks like it could be a bit of fun. But, yeah, I've never played it. This is the first time I've actually heard of it. So...
Well, we'll see. I'm sure one of us will get a chance to jump into it and give it a go. So that's Darksword. A couple of more but quite quick bits of news. Job Simulator has been announced to join PS Plus Premium. That's coming on the 16th. So by the time this episode goes out, that's now on PS Plus Premium. That is like the game that's always one of the best-selling games on the headset. So makes no surprise that's joining PS Plus.
It's an easy platinum as well. So if anyone wanted that, it's really easy platinum. So
I don't think I've played it on PSVR1 on the PS4. I played it, but I haven't played it on PSVR2. I should really play that. I should give that a go because I love Cosmonia's High. Absolutely love that game.
Yeah, you did.
I do. Still do.
I don't hear as many people rave about that game as much as you do, though.
Yeah, that's me and Miles Dyer. He was a big fan of it as well.
Yeah, you did say that. I don't agree with that. Nah. Need the proof.
Have you probably platinumed it, haven't you? Because you're weird.
I've not played Cosmonia's High. I played the demo.
You not even played it?
I played the demo, and I thought the demo was really cool, and then I didn't get round to picking it up. But it's one that I do need to jump back in because it does have an easy platinum.
Yeah, it's a really funny, nice game. Anyway, Job Simulator. It's on PS Plus Premium. Gran Turismo 7, one of PSVR2's best games, is getting a big update with another new track and 6 new cars. So if you need another reason to dip back into Gran Turismo 7, give that a go. I swear I never get around to it. I should jump into this game and play it properly because there's probably loads of new stuff since when I last played it. There's been so many new tracks and things added to it since it came out. It was a big game at launch, but now it's absolutely huge. So yeah, GT7.
I've still never played it.
What? Really?
No, I've not played GT7. I refuse to play it until I get myself a racing rig. So
you seriously never played it? I can't.
Well, I had this discussion with somebody else the other day, and they was like, "Oh, you can do it with the controller. It still was fun." And I'm like, "Nope, I want a racing rig before I do it."
Yeah, Alex has got all of the rig set up because he's
Alex, I'm coming around yours.
Because of course he does. But I don't. I just play the controller, and I'm very very happy with it.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up on the next sale that it shows up on, and I'll give it a go because it does look fun.
Yeah, man, it's just I can't believe I've played it. Have you got the game?
No, I don't even have the game.
Man, get Ben to send you his copy because he can't even play it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Without even being sick. But just to experience it, just the it's absolutely magic, man. You got to. It's like a must experience thing. I mean, fair play for to hold out for getting the whole rig and stuff, but it's I
just don't know where to put it. So yeah, no, I'll probably have to just do it with a controller at some point. But no, I am very intrigued by it.
Yeah, and if you want an example of kind of the benefit of having the PlayStation VR over a Quest VR, like what that fidelity can buy you, it's man.
Every video I've seen of it looks absolutely insane, and every time I see a video, I'm like, I'm going to buy it, and then every time I look, it's not on sale at a time, and I'm like, okay, I'll hold off.
Yeah, I'm shocked. We learned something new about you today, Reese. We didn't know about. Everyone, just at Reese and tell him to, or at Games with T and tell him to play. It doesn't have
guns, so I didn't buy it.
No, that'd be a cool mod, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's
continue.
Move on. Final thing, just to cover off, is the monthly. We always get this monthly update. The PSN top downloads for June have been revealed. Any idea what they are for?
I've seen it.
You have seen it. Okay, spoilers.
I've seen it, but yeah.
Beat Saber came out on the top. There's never any sale for Beat Saber, so it just must be a quiet month, and that's always. I feel like that's like an evergreen title that probably hits the same number every month, and then everything else. When there's a sale on, like there was with that Star Wars game, or when there's a new release, something can come number one, but then everything else quickly falls down. But Beat Saber is just that one that's just ever constant. Still haven't managed to get me to buy a copy, but one day I will.
You definitely should, but I don't think there's any rush for you to buy a copy. It's like same. You haven't got Pistol Whip either, have you?
No, I mean, I'm purposely keeping back for when
it's the same thing.
Clear all my backlog of VR games and they stop releasing them. I'll still.
You're just going to get a game with
I'll
a
play
lot
Job
more
Simulator.
stuff.
I'll play Beat Saber. I'll play Pistol Whip. I'm going to be so happy.
Yeah, you're going to be busy. You're basically going to shun your missus to the other room so you can play VR all the time. That's what you have to do.
Arizona Sunshine was number 2 in the EU. So that's good as well. Big fan of that game. Any idea what was this? Made me laugh. What the top PS5 selling game was?
What? That's not VR.
Yeah, just normal PS5 game. If you don't know.
GTA 5.
Yes, GTA 5.
I only say that because it's every 3 or 4 months it goes back to being number 1 again, and I never know why. I'm like, are people still buying? Who does not own this game yet? This is a game that everybody has.
It's the best selling game again. Still,
that's surprising, but damn, man.
Because you think, like with Beat Saber, at least there's like a number of people that are buying the headset for the first time.
For the DLC, there's a lot more to it.
Everyone picks up Beat Saber with a headset. It's just like the must-buy game to go with it. Where it's like, who still hasn't played GTA 5?
I genuinely thought everyone had GTA 5, but that's what I've learned today.
Similarly, with PS4, Minecraft comes out number top as well. It's, again, like, just this, who hasn't played Minecraft? There's always kids coming of age that want to play Minecraft.
You get a cheap PS4 for Christmas or your birthdays and things like that, or your family member gives you one. It's just an easy game to pick up, isn't it?
Yeah. Cool. Wow. Whew. So that's a big news roundup this week. Let's move on to what we have been playing. Reese, go on. Tell us what you've been playing. Go on. Tell us.
What have I been playing?
Go on. Tell us.
We want to start with the big one first, or?
Oh, is there a big one? Oh no! We'll save that. That's good. We'll do that as the main topic. We'll talk about.
Okay, I played some Sky Climb. I can start with that one.
Nice. Yeah, go on then.
Or was you thinking of something else?
Yeah, well, you're talking about Infinite Inside, right? We'll talk about. We've both been playing Infinite Inside.
Yeah, we'll jump to
that. We'll get to that. We'll make that the main topic of the episode. So we'll build up to that one. Don't.
Okay, I'll start with Sky Climb. Yeah. I jumped on some Sky Climb yesterday with the community manager Orbits, I believe their name is, and also Ninja VR, who is a listener of the podcast and is also one of the members of the Discord. Hey. He was on there as well, and we was playing that. It was good fun. I have previously played this on Quest as well, so I am going to kind of like compare the two versions and my views on them in that sense. Personally, for me, I do prefer this game on Quest only because of the not having the wire. I found that it kept hitting me in the back while I was, because it's one of them games where you have to swing your arm to go grab onto the next thing, and the wire just kept hitting me. I felt like I was moving forward sometimes to reach, and then I was kind of fearful that I might tread on my wire. So yeah, I did find that I preferred it on Quest, but it still was fun. I still had a good laugh. I'm still not too good at the game, to be fair. Like, there's some levels I could do, there's some levels I really couldn't, and there's, it's a good little challenge to it. But it was good fun. The lobbies are still quiet for now because obviously it has only just released.
This is like a Fall Guys style.
Yeah, they say
game,
Fall Guys-esque, but I feel like it. I mean, other than it just being a challenge title with multiple people, I think that's the only kind of comparison you have to Fall Guys. I'd definitely say Fall Guys is level design and things you do on it were probably a bit more well developed in a sense. They're a bit more fully designed of each level looking a bit different or feeling different. Whereas this kind of all felt very similar in the sense with the obstacles, because at the end of the day in VR it's quite difficult to show that different display of if the main element of the game is you swinging yourself forward and grabbing. But there was a lot of cool things, like you have to put your arms out to kind of glide a little bit. You can dive down a bit quicker if you put your hands together and aim down. You can dash, and you can hit the other player as well to stop them. And it was that's what the community manager kept doing to me. Actually, I was literally on one of the blocks, and all of a sudden they'd just come up behind me and hit me, and I'd go flying. So I was like, "Are you serious? I was just next to a checkpoint, and you've knocked me back to the beginning." But no, it was a really
that's the game, right? Isn't it?
I think with a lot of friends, like if you set up a good mode and just played with a lot of mates on this game, I think you'd have a good laugh. And I definitely think that's where this game would shine, is friend play, like having just a session with your mates. Not so much probably with a random session. I think communication, having that laugh at each other is probably something that will really make this shine. But no, I enjoyed it, and I did have a good bit of fun. I know on Quest we had the same issue. We couldn't really find lobbies, and I do think the game is a bit quiet at times. But they do have a Discord where they set that all up.
Again, going multi-platform should only help
exactly. Yeah, I believe
is it crossplay?
Not at this time. I don't think it's crossplay,
okay.
but I think they're adding it in. It's something they're working on. Is add it in because there is a lot of there's actually a lot of kind of things in the background that they kind of get stopped on when making games, which I'm kind of learning more with the more I've kind of spoke to developers and things like that over the times. So yeah, it's something they're going to be adding in is crossplay, but it just I think it's probably it dropped earlier than it was meant to, so I don't think they had it already.
And this is another good one for younger players, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think families and kids. I think they would all love this game. It's just silly. It's nothing serious. And although it did make me feel like I wanted to rage at some point when I kept just failing miserably, like at the end of every level, I was like, "Are you kidding me? I've lost again. This is a joke." I think I came second on one of them, and I felt like I achieved something in my life. But no, I kept losing. Ninja is extremely good at this game, like extremely.
Nice.
So, no, it was good fun. Cool. Definitely worth checking out if you're going to plan to play it with friends, I'd say. It does also have a campaign. Let me just add that as well. It does have a campaign. So there is solo play, but let's continue.
And have you been playing anything else other than the big game that we want to talk about this week?
I'm going to be honest, I can only really remember a PC VR game that I keep playing.
That's fine. You can mention that. Okay. That's fine.
I've been playing a lot
very liberal around here.
I've been playing a lot of Convrgence.
Okay.
Which is spelled Convrgence. VR. Yeah. The title is the only bad thing about this game, really. It's in early access. The developer's been working on it. It's a solo dev. And literally, it's kind of like an extraction shooter, horror-esque. But it's really, really cool. Like, I don't know, the gameplay loop of it has had me addicted. I started playing it, and I played 30 minutes. I went, okay, I'll come off for a bit, and I went back on it. And you kind of get rep as you're leveling up, and then with rep you get better guns, and you can go on better raids, and you still add in more raids if it's like that. But at the daytime level, you have just normal people shooting at you, but then as soon as you go to the nighttime, you have these things called demons, and going through the tunnels at night on this game is just eerie. It's terrifying, and it just made me feel so uncomfortable because literally you're holding a torch with one hand, and you can see all this like viscera and just goo just hanging from the ceiling. And then there'll just be this really giant, tall demon, as they call them. And they kind of look a bit like, without the mouth of a demogorgon, they have like a normal head with glowing green eyes, but they're about the height of a demogorgon. You can imagine that thing coming towards you in VR. It's absolutely terrifying. And as soon as you shoot at one of them, if there's any more in the area, they all come converging on you. Oh, maybe that's where you got the name from.
you go.
Anyway, I am absolutely hooked to this. Absolutely hooked. I cannot stop playing it. I'm having an absolute blast.
Wow.
There is some things that need to be worked on, and the dev definitely knows that, and he's definitely working on. The AI is a bit slow and things like that, but I think the core mechanics of what he's doing with this game, I think he knows what he's aiming for, and it's just, I've been absolutely hooked. So, no, really good job on that so far, especially for an early access game with a solo developer.
It's just, as ever, these solo developers are like wizards.
Yeah.
Like, how can someone make this?
Literally, have a look at the trailer when you've done this, and just you'll see what I mean by like how ambitious it is for a solo developer. Like, there's a lot to it. So, no, really cool.
Yeah, these solo developers, like, you think companies like Sony have got so much money, you think, like, okay, you can just come work for us. Come work for us, and we'll give you a team of people, and just keep doing what you're doing, but just we'll give you all the resources and make this just for us and make it brilliant. It's the
ambition of these solo developers that really absolutely just blows my mind. Like,
yeah, it's just incredible. Like, the stuff that people can make, like, it was back like different when it was like indie developers, and you'd make like some pixel art doing a game, and you can kind of understand, okay, I can see how this one person could be a real passion project, and even those are amazing. But now these games, they look like they're made by a whole AAA team of people, and they just look just as good. It's crazy. So yeah, mad.
But you keep mentioning, like, I feel like I've been playing a third game, but I can only remember 3 games that I've played. That's because I play so many games that kind of like it washes one out. So what is this other game? What's this other game you think I've been playing? Go on. I
don't know. You tell me.
Did you write down all the games I've been playing? Are we going to Infinite Insight now?
No, I don't. I don't know what you're talking about. What
have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing more Sushi Ben. Oh, yes.
Oh.
They're still loving it.
Have you finished it yet?
No. I was going to finish it, but then I played Infinite Insight instead for ages.
When you finish it, we're hijacking a whole episode just to talk about that game again.
Okay,
we realise that, right?
Spoiler cast. Well, we'll put it out on the new YouTube. We'll just do a separate spin-off thing.
Sushi Ben dedicated episode.
Yeah, that's what Sushi Ben spoiler cast. Absolutely. No, I'm still loving it. I would have finished it, but actually my VR time has been in competing, because I've powered through all 3 of the 3 Body Problem novels, and they are big. Each one is bigger. The third one is an absolute tome. So yeah, probably about over 1,000 pages between the 3 of them. They're so good. So yeah, I've not devoted time.
That's too much for me.
It's just
too many books.
Sometimes when like a book, I just sort of like bites me and just really grabs hold of me, and I just can't. Like, I just will like, okay, I'll finish working, put the kids to bed, and it's like, right, just leave me alone now. I need to get through this book as quickly as possible, because I need to know what happens in this story. And that's what's been going on with me for the last few weeks with 3 Body Problem. But I have been playing Sushi Ben as well. Let's just say we talked about it so much, I won't go on about it again. Still just makes me smile. And I did say to someone, I did tweet and say, I think this might be my new favourite game on the headset.
Yeah, and somebody's like, you can't. I think I said somebody's like, you can't be serious.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's just like, surely Horizon's the best game, because look at it. There's nothing that brings me as much joy as this game has done. There's nothing that is as fun and pleasing and makes me as happy to play as Sushi Ben. So for that, I'm not. There are, of course, there are more technically advanced games on it, but just made by like 2 people or something. So yeah, Sushi Ben. Like you say, when I finish it, we'll talk about it.
I'm still trying to find this other game that I was meant to be talking about.
I don't know. It's not so conspiracy.
You made it sound like there's more games I've been playing.
I don't know. Was there?
I feel like there was 4 games, but I can't remember the 4th one. This is terrible, man.
It's all right, Reese. We do this every week.
I can't find it.
Save it till next week. Just save it till next week.
What was the 4th game I was playing? Come on, please.
Stop interrupting. Let me have my go.
Okay, good turn.
The other thing I played as well is Spin Rhythm XD. Is it called Spin Rhythm XD? And obviously you and Alex talked about it last week. Agree with everything you said. What I was impressed by, it was more, we joked about having a kind of Bop It style game. And that's kind of what this is, in that it's not really
it feels like Bop It, doesn't it?
It's not really a rhythm game, because it's much more technical. It's like you don't have any kind of this, like a lot of the other games, you kind of need that kind of musical sense of timing and stuff. Whereas this is much more, because the actions you have to do are quite varied and they build in complexity. It is more of a kind of workout for your brain to be able to sort of pivot and jump from, okay, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that. Now I've got to spin it, flick it, now I've got to grab it, now I've got to wave it.
Twist it.
that's what it's like. And when you spin it, bob it. It's just what it feels like. And you get in a kind of all of a muddle just trying to keep up. And exactly what you said about, I think, this is really easy. I might just knock it up a level. You're like, whoa, back down.
It's surprising how quick you can mess up with just two colours as well. Like, the simple rotating of it, and you can just go, I've overstepped it just a little bit, and you can just mess it up. So yeah, that is.
I think it's definitely a very, very different rhythm sort of game to the rest of them. So I think it's worth people checking out because it does stand out quite well. Well, I would say the music for me is not really to my taste. There's nothing. It's not like Synth Riders where there's a lot of tracks in there that really grab me and I love dancing to and just getting really into the genre here. It's nothing complaining against the game as such. It just doesn't really speak to me in terms of the sort of music that I'd like to listen to. So yeah, but still a great game. Cool.
I agree.
Good.
We're going on to the big game now, are we?
Yes, but before we do, just like to take a moment to remind everyone, to let everyone know that this episode is sponsored by Kiwi Design, obviously specialise in producing, making accessories for Meta Quest. So that's cable management, controller grips, battery head straps, whatever it is, they've got it. And you can support us and save a few quid by heading over to kiwidesign.com. You can use the link in the description, and if you enter the code CBVR at checkout, you get 5% off on top of anything else they've got going on there. So kiwidesign.com. Thank you.
And they've also released a couple of new products recently. We loosely mentioned it last week. A new facial interface for the Quest 3 and also a new comfort head strap.
A new facial interface. That sounds
stuff for you to check out from Kiwi, and they're both great. We've been using them, and we're really happy with them.
Cool. Nice. Well, let's move on then to our main big release that we want to talk about and cover this week, which we have both been playing, and that is Infinite Inside. Oh God, Reece, have a go explain this for us.
Okay. I thought you were going to say how am I to explain this?
How do you explain this one? So it's a puzzle. Okay, no, it's a 3D puzzle game. You start off the game and a totem pole emerges, and if you're playing it in Quest, it emerges in mixed reality in your own room.
I was trying to find my notes for it and I can't find them on it.
You're having a mare, aren't you, Rich?
I am. Technical difficulties with the new PC.
PlayStation VR, there's no mixed reality, obviously. There's just you're in this kind of study environment, there's someone's office, and there's the totem appears on the ground, and you have to, it's kind of like a kind of puzzle in that you have to open and spin it and manipulate it, look around it. There's little flaps and doors you can open, and it doesn't follow the usual laws of physics, so that you can pull a drawer out far more than what the totem you'd expect it to
it's a bit weird how that works.
So it's all a bit trippy, but you have to kind of manipulate this totem pole, twist it around, open the things to pop it to activate. Well, to sort of, you go inside the totem, don't you? So inside the totem, there's like these rooms inside it, and somewhere hidden in the totem is a statue of a figure, and you have to put the statue of the figure on this sort of pedestal thing inside the totem.
I love the way the figure was used for menus as well. Just because otherwise I'm going to forget that. But the figure, you literally use that to select your menu options as well. Like you put it on them, and that's how it all works. So you continue now. Apologies for butting in there, but I will completely forget that physics. But I thought it was really cool.
So once you then enter the totem, you're in a full VR space. So whether you're on Quest or PlayStation VR, you're in a full VR space, and you're tasked with finding pieces of a puzzle, basically. And that sounds quite straightforward, but they're quite well hidden. So you have to explore these areas, and you can only navigate by looking at selecting nodes that you jump to. So it's not free movement. You have to jump to certain points, and so you're essentially going around a maze looking for different pieces, and there could be, it shows you on your watch how many on your back of your hand how many pieces there are to find in each level. So I think the first one's only got like 3, and then it goes up to, there's like more like sort of 10 in some of the more complex ones, and you find these pieces, and then essentially they're pieces of puzzles, so you then have to manipulate them in space, a bit like puzzling places. You put them together and make a cube or a pyramid or there's different shapes. You have to slot them all together, and then you slot them inside the totem pole, And it sounds very kind of, it probably sounds like, what the hell are these guys talking about? But if you watch a video of it, it kind of makes sense. But it's a puzzle game where you're exploring, finding the pieces of the puzzle, slotting them all together, slotting them into these machines, and then they open up and things change, and then you can progress accordingly. So that's the style of the game. And I realise that we've not done a very good job of explaining it because it's a very hard. Like with a lot of VR things, if you see it for yourself, it will make sense.
Yeah,
it's not
weird.
A complicated game, but it is quite weird.
First question I have, because I've not tried the PSVR2 version, I've only tried the Quest version. I thought I'm going to keep my mind off of the PSVR2 version just to hear your thoughts and see how they convey it against the other version. How tall is the totem when you stand next to it? Is it like taller than you, or like miles taller than you, or is it only a little bit above your head?
Yeah, it's a bit above your head.
Okay, cool.
But you can pull it down.
You can raise it high, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
you
cool.
just can grab onto. So you grab onto the edge of the totem and you can spin it around.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can lift it up or down. As well to be able to manipulate it.
On the first level, does a suitcase spawn and all the totem come out of that at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So they've literally, the only thing they've done away with is literally just the background stuff. So the first thing I did was load it up in mixed reality because I wanted to see how it looked. And as I said to you in the group chat, my cat was laying on the floor in front of me. So all of a sudden, out of the blue, this suitcase just drops on top of my cat, completely making her disappear. And a totem just spawns out of the floor. And I'm like, great, I can't see where my cat is now, so I better not move forward. So that was my first initial thoughts with the game. I was like, I'm now stuck in one position. I can't move. But that sense of having this totem in your room in VR, like in mixed reality, was just a surreal feeling. It was like this huge thing in front of me. Like I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy." Rotating it around felt really, smooth and everything like that. It was really cool. And yeah, I don't know. There was something really well done about it, and it just felt really natural. There was no, there's not really any jank to it. It just felt very smooth, and I was really happy how that worked. The puzzle straight off the bat on the first level was nothing to make your brain work for. But I think it was a nice introductory to what you had to do.
Yeah, the first one is very easy. The second, I've done the first 3 levels, and I think there might be 5 in total. So
I've done 2. So it's by no means a full review. It's more of just a first impressions as we were. But I'm sure
I played like a good, probably the first half of the game. I suspect. So I've got a good sense of what it's about, and the levels do get more complex. So they add elements. So in the level I've just done, there's objects inside the totem that you can put into, so you can build little bridges, and then you sort of jump into the totem world, and then those bridges are laid out in front of you, and then you can come out of the totem to move the bridges somewhere else and then jump back in again, and that's where you can sort of make your way through them. So it's like a maze that you can come out of, rejig, and then jump back in again and then progress. So if you imagine all those pieces are hidden around it that you're looking for, you go in there, you're looking around it, you then have to come out and you can kind of rearrange the maze and jump back in again, and then you can carry on looking. You've got new paths that have opened up around you and stuff. So that's the puzzle. It's kind of on a macro and a micro level. It's on a micro level when you're in the maze.
I love the way that was done though. The whole, it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it's such a clever concept, and again, great VR concept. It kind of makes sense. It works in VR, but to be able to jump out of a maze, to see it, to manipulate it, rejig it around, and think, okay, now I'm going to jump back in and I'll have another go and I'll look around it again. It just works so well, and it's so satisfying to find, because when you do, there's a lot of dead ends, and the puzzle pieces are always in a similar sort of, they house them in these little structures, and sometimes you can see a structure and you get to it and there's nothing in it. You think, oh, for fuck's sake, it was a dead end, or they give you a false hope. And then when you do find a structure and there's a puzzle piece inside it, and also these structures have got 2 or 3 little cupboards or drawers in them and stuff, so you need to get down and look around them and stuff. And when you do open one up, it's like, yes, I found one. It really reminds me, not that, well, I have done it actually in just the one in London, but being in the Crystal Maze, where you obviously there's no time pressure, but you feel like you're in there, you're sort of looking for things. It's like, I found a crystal, and you want to get out of the room. It's that kind of sense of you having to sort of look around and manipulate things, and it's that solving that puzzle. So if you like that sort of, if your brain responds to the sort of scratching that itch, I think you'll like it, because it's, if you're puzzling and looking for things, and then you find the thing that you're looking for, it's very satisfying, because you've managed to. You have to be quite ingenious to find all these things and sniff them all out. Yeah, and then you come out of the maze. You've got all these pieces. Then you have to assemble the thing, which it gets increasingly trickier once you get more and more pieces. The first level is just obviously very simple to put the 3 bits together, but by the time you've got like 6 or 7 bits you're trying to assemble, it can be that can take a while.
I love the way they all float as well. Like when you have them all out around you, you can kind of hit them with your hand, they all move around. Yeah,
it's almost like in Zero G, isn't it? Because you can sort of tap them with your hand and they and you can just spin them and they sort of spin around in the air. Feels very natural that they're just sort of Zero G objects all around you.
Yeah, another thing obviously I've mentioned a lot before in past episodes is I'm not a fan of teleport movement. Neither am I with snap turning, but I can kind of ignore it sometimes with certain games. But for some reason, with the way the teleporting was done in this game, where you kind of reach your hand out and you have to grab these objects and then just kind of pull back, it just felt really natural to this art style and this artistic vision they had when making the game. That it just feels really natural to the world they were going for. And I also want to say as well, like when playing this in the mixed reality mode on Quest, you may have a worry that obviously when it goes into VR, is there any kind of jank? Is there any kind of notice with it? It's so smoothly done to the point where it just feels so natural to go from this mixed reality world, i.e. your own room, into this totem and just feel like this is there was no kind of obscure feeling to it. It just felt just right. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would have loved it if they kind of worked it so when you look outside of the totem you see your room or something like that. That would have been really cool. But again, there's a lot of
very cool.
There's a lot of issues with that because obviously sizing and scaling with you being inside of the totem.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
So I can understand why they didn't, but at the same point that would have been cool. But either way, it just felt really natural, and it was really cool to go from like my own room and just then be in this really art style, artistic world that they've created, and I'm really happy with it.
It reminds me of like another Fisherman's Tale where it plays around with perspective and like you're in little models.
That first
and then
puzzle with the model room, isn't it?
Yeah, you go into the model and you can take things in and out of it, and it changes the scale of it and stuff. So like a giant object when you're mentioned
in a while, is it?
Yeah, one of my early favourites. Especially another
great game. I even got that on Steam in the end.
Nice. But just go back to what you're saying about the teleport movement. I agree. I would like to be able to just walk around freely, but I think I saw something the developers said that it kind of the game doesn't work so well because I think if you're in a maze, you need to be able to sort of follow a set route through that maze.
Yeah, because obviously you're going to get yourself lost.
Yeah, or you would just take shortcuts and things like you have to kind of because you can only go from node to node. You can't kind of cut corners off it. So if you, I think it wouldn't work in the same way without it because you're following these kind of invisible pathways essentially. But what I would say is, as a complaint, and I wonder if they'll patch and improve this on the PlayStation version at least. Sometimes grabbing hold of the node and sort of putting your hand out to go where you want it to go can be a bit fiddly, and sometimes it doesn't register. And I'm like, come on, I'm here.
It's a bit like that on the Quest as well.
Yeah, when it works, it feels really cool. You reach out, you can grab the point you want to go to, and you sort of zip straight there. It's a bit like the blink feature in Dishonored. It's kind of how I think of it every time I do it.
Describing it, you've hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah, it's like that sort of teleport movement. But sometimes you're like, hello, like little thing, pick up that I'm trying to grab you, and then so that can be a bit frustrating. That's probably the only thing. Just trying to think. Sometimes as well, and this might not be like this on Quest, but sometimes when I come in or out of a point, I'm not quite stood in the right place. So again, this feels like a thing that needs to be patched. It's not a huge thing because you can just move around to reposition yourself. But I was playing it and I kept moving around to reposition myself. And eventually, my wife was in the room at the time. She was just reading a book. And she was like, "What are you doing? Get out of my face!" Because I had managed to sort of move across the room to try. And if you're doing it,
and just hit her. Sorry.
Yeah, because especially because when these you get to these areas where the bits of the puzzle are hidden, you kind of have to walk around them and move around them. And sometimes if it loads you into the area, if it zips you into the area, you teleport in. And you're not quite in the right place, you have to kind of move half a meter to get into the right place. And sometimes as well, when you teleport back to the totem, because you can't move around. So it could be quite awkward, I think, at times to kind of have to sort of lean back to be able to grab the pieces to manipulate it. So there's a little bit of jank with that.
I'd say that wasn't an issue on the Quest I experienced, but then again, I didn't play VR to VR mode with the way it works. I just played the MR to VR mode, so it might be a little bit different with the way it works. But
It didn't ruin my enjoyment or anything. It wasn't a big deal, but it just noticed a few times you jumped in, it felt like I hadn't landed in the right place, and you had to kind of manually reposition yourself, which was just the minor irritation is all. So I hope that's something they can patch. I think the teleport movement stickiness was the more of a bigger problem. Again, it's not ruined.
Because that happened for me quite a lot as well.
Yeah, it doesn't. Neither of those things ruin experience, but I think they're worth noting as things that they could look to hopefully patch up and fix. But otherwise, I mean, the game looks fantastic. The music's very kind of atmospheric, very quiet and understated. The story, there is a kind of story. It's very mysterious and undertold, and very
it's very subtle.
Environmental storytelling. You're just looking around at things. Maybe by the time I finish, there'll be more that's revealed, but I'm not expecting there to be anything. I think it's more things you just kind of make of it what you want and stuff. And there's a few things going on, but it's nothing too important. It's you're playing it for those puzzles basically, and it's to get each level. It takes I'd say about 40 minutes to do each level, so it's you can sort of knock it off in bite-sized chunks. Probably if you're smarter than I am, you can probably get through them quicker. I think could take you longer.
I'm going to say it took me probably about 30 minutes to the first 2 levels. That was it.
Okay, then again,
I suppose as you go on further, you're going to get that little bit more length to it, because I noticed the second level was definitely longer than the first one. The first level you can just admit as a tutorial in a sense.
Yeah, the first one's just nothing to it. Yeah. The third one especially there's a lot more complexity to it. It gets a lot bigger than the second one. But yeah, that feels about right. Probably a bit quicker than I did it, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's a very good game. If you like puzzle games, if you like mazes, I think this is the game that you would. Very much,
I think a lot of
enjoy.
people. It's relatively cheap as well, which is something I noticed because I'm sure I saw someone post that saying I believe it's within like the £10 region, maybe £10.99 or something like that. It's very cheap for what it is. Don't quote me on that price because it might not be the exact price, but I remember it being relatively cheap for what I saw, and I thought to myself that is a cheap game for what you're getting. Don't get me wrong, it's from what I understand, it is quite a short experience. It can be done within like 2 to 3 hours, depending on your own, understanding of the puzzle. So
3 to 4 hours in my case then.
So it's obviously case by case dependent. But I mean, for a game of that price, you're not expecting like a 20-hour game time. You're not expecting this length of replay that you're going to get from a game you spend £40 on. And I think that's something that needs to be remembered with this as well. And I think for what they're heading for, what they went for, I think they've achieved. And I think that mixed reality mode is just that first time you see the totem come out of the ground in your own room, it was just that was surreal to me. So
very cool.
Yeah,
cool. Well, that was Infinite Inside then. The CrossButtonVR seal of approval, I think. Or stamp of approval.
Definitely. Stamp of approval, thumbs up approval. I don't know what we call it anymore. We just
stamp of approval.
Let's get the stamp in here so we can actually hammer it on the desk.
Yeah, we should do that. Would be good. Cool. Well, I think that's a decent episode we've got there, Reese. I think let's wrap things up.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for listening. If you have enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you could please tell your family and your friends all about us. And if you want to get more involved, as we've already said, please jump into our brand new shiny Discord and say hello. And thank you to everyone that has already done so. I've been your host, Laurie. This guy has been Reese, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.